Trump administration releases $5 billion in withheld school funding, holding back critical school funds for weeks. The Trump administration has finally agreed to release over $5 billion in frozen education money, averting a crisis that could have derailed programs for millions of students. But here's where it gets controversial. This 11th hour resolution comes after months of uncertainty, raising questions about why the freeze happened in the first place. The shocking move, announced late Friday, ends a tense standoff over $7 billion in funds that support 6 key education initiatives, including English language learner programs, teacher training, and support services for children of migrant workers. While $1.3 billion was released last week for after-school and summer programs, the remaining $5 billion had been locked up since June 30th, a delay that caused panic nationwide. Districts faced grim scenarios, slashing staff, ending enrichment programs like swim lessons for children in Marshalltown, Iowa, or even trimming academic support for students learning English. Lawmakers from both parties blasted the freeze as reckless. This wasn't a victory. It was a last-minute dodge of a self-created catastrophe, said Senator Patty Murray, drawing a fierce comparison. You don't thank a burglar for handing back your stolen wallet after forcing you to scramble for alternatives. Meanwhile, Rhett Don Bacon celebrated the release as a bipartisan win, claiming he pushed hard to secure the unfrozen funds. But the conflict reveals deeper tensions over federal education policy. The administration claims the freeze with a transition period for reviewing compliance with Trump's priorities, particularly targeting past uses of funds the Office of Management and Budget labeled as possibly radical left-wing. That vague accusation sparked lawsuits from 24 states and D.C., alleging the freeze violated constitutional and statutory obligations. Superintendents in 43 states warned that over 75% of districts would cut core services like special education or English language programs without the money. This clash isn't isolated. It's part of a broader campaign to shrink the federal role in education. Since taking office, Trump has sought to dismantle the Education Department, transfer its responsibilities to other agencies, and cancel billions in grants. Proponents argue states should handle education independently, but critics insist these cuts harm vulnerable students, particularly those navigating language barriers or relying on migrant family support. We celebrate the legal pressure that forced the administration to act, said Skye Perryman of Democracy Forward, which sued on behalf of districts. But schools shouldn't need lawsuits to get promised funds. The guardrails pledged to limit future misuse remain unclear. The administration hasn't specified what safeguards will be implemented or how quickly districts will see the money. We'd love to hear from you. Should states manage education funding without federal oversight? Is political ideology justified as a reason to hold out school funds? Sound off in the comments below. Trump admin releases $6 billion in frozen school grants. What it means for education. In a significant development, the Education Department has announced that it will be releasing billions of dollars in grant funding that had previously been withheld from schools. This funding is crucial for various programs, including adult literacy initiatives and English language instruction, as stated by the department on Friday. Initially, the Trump administration had frozen over $6 billion in funding on July 1st as part of a review process aimed at ensuring that educational spending aligned with the administration's priorities. This decision sparked considerable controversy and led to multiple lawsuits, as educators and bipartisan members of Congress urged the administration to release the funds that schools depend on for a variety of essential programs. Notably, Congress had already allocated this money in a bill that was signed into law by President Trump earlier this year. Just last week, the Education Department revealed that it would be releasing $1.3 billion specifically for after-school and summer programs. Without this financial support, many school districts and nonprofit organizations, such as the YMCA and the Boys and Girls Club of America, warned that they would be forced to either close their doors or significantly reduce their educational offerings this fall. The decision to release these funds came shortly after a group of 10 Republican senators sent a letter to the administration urging that the frozen education funds be distributed to the states. These senators also advocated for the release of the remaining funds, which include vital resources for adult education and English as a second language programs. On Friday, the Education Department confirmed that the Office of Management and Budget had completed its review of the relevant programs and that the distribution of funds to the states would commence next week. Among those advocating for the release of these grants was U.S. Senator Shelley Moore Capito from West Virginia. She emphasized that the programs in question have long enjoyed bipartisan support, highlighting the importance of after-school and summer programs that enable parents to work while their children are engaged in learning. Additionally, she pointed out that classes aimed at helping adults acquire new skills play a vital role in bolstering local economies. However, the Office of Management and Budget had previously justified the withholding of funds by claiming that some of the programs supported a radical left-wing agenda. In response, the GOP senators expressed their shared concerns, but clarified that they did not believe this was applicable to the funds in question. School superintendents had raised alarms about the potential elimination of academic services if the funding was not released. On Friday, the AASA, an association representing superintendents, expressed gratitude to Congress members for their efforts in advocating for the release of these essential funds. This situation raises important questions about the intersection of education funding and political agendas. How do you feel about the administration's decision to withhold funds? Do you believe that educational programs should be influenced by political considerations? Share your thoughts in the comments below.